defining of terms. At this moment, let's proceed to lesson 2, formulating a hypothesis for quantitative research. Actually, on the format, no, di ba nauna yung conceptual framework? Again, nauna yung conceptual framework. The next part talaga is the research hypothesis. Okay? Of course, your hypothesis will be based on your framework. Okay? Like conceptual framework, lang hypothesis. Kaya nga, please make sure ha, pag pure descriptive ang study, walang research hypothesis because wala man, there's nothing to be tested. I make sense. Okay, kaya I was shocked when some of my nag-analyze ako ng data. Nasyak talaga ako ng mga na pure descriptive siya tapos na ay hypothesis nga nakabutang. Again, depende sa research design niya. So what will be this hypothesis all about, no? So yeah, people often make assumptions about persons they first meet, di ba? Of course, kung makita tao sa inyong first impression sa akin, what's your assumption about sa akin? Okay, so your first impression of people might not last because you get to know them as better as the days pass rather. And your everyday interactions with them either disprove or validate your expectations. So in research, these assumptions are referred to as hypothesis. And hypothesis is not always true. Again, hypothesis is not always true since the purpose of the study is to prove whether it is correct or not. So just like asking these questions, do you think formulating this hypothesis will help you solve these problems? Or how is forming hypothesis going to be important in helping your research study? So the objective in this lesson, at the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify the types of quantitative research hypothesis. Actually, dalawa lang sila. And formulate research hypothesis for quantitative research. I do hope that you can still recall what I've taught you last time, no? Since ako yung statistics and probability teacher ninyo, and yeah, we deal with tools like prediction and t-test, di ba? And then doon my steps ako na binigay, and I presented earlier what is this hypothesis all about. I do hope na remember pa to ninyo. So let's start with what's this research hypothesis all about. So hypothesis is something different in research, and it is the premise of a study. It's just more than educated guess. Kasi di ba when we say when you first hear the word hypothesis, you can define it actually educated guess, scientific guess based on the definition in science, di ba? But in research, it is more than just an educated guess. Okay, it is your assumption about the variables being explored in the study. You should be able to identify the variables. The assumptions you would be formulating should be tested by gathering relevant data and analyzing the results to find out it will be refuted or rejected or validated. And formulating and thinking about valid hypothesis brings direction to your study. So a research hypothesis is a tentative proposition about the relationship between two or more variables. Kaya nga, when you have your conceptual framework, dapat meron din kayong research hypothesis. Okay? Always take into consideration the research design of your study before formulating hypothesis. Okay, again it is always take into consideration what type of research study ang i-conduct ninyo before formulating the hypothesis. Just like what I've mentioned, walang hypothesis or research hypothesis pag pure descriptive lang. Usually, mga comparative research, correlational research, experimental research, they have these research hypothesis. Sir, I have a question. Tag-isa lang ba ang research hypothesis namin? It depends on your statement of the problem. Again, mag-matter ang number of your hypothesis na depende sa inyong research question. Okay, mag-matter siya doon. Okay? What are the characteristics of hypothesis? Hypothesis to be considered as falsifiable. It should be capable of being disproved given the results of the study. The research study would not considered empirical if your hypothesis could be refuted. Another, a hypothesis should be predictable. A hypothesis must be able to predict the relationship or the differences among two or more variables. And again, how to determine this can be done by conducting and gathering procedures and analyzing the results of the data. Another characteristic is that your hypothesis should be simple and specific. Same also your research question, no? Simple and specific. Kasi again, rely yung hypothesis ninyo based on the research question ninyo. Except nga itong descriptive na research question na usually mga sa a comparative and a correlational research question. Moreover, a hypothesis must test only one assumption at a time. And this means you must not present more than one idea in hypothesis. Another, a hypothesis should be based on an existing body of knowledge. The research must be able to address a research gap in the existing body of knowledge or theories that are already established. And this is one of the main functions of a research study that will only be possible if the hypothesis is backed by pieces of evidence. Another characteristics that a hypothesis should be capable of being operationally defined. It should be capable of being measured. The research study can be concluded if hypothesis cannot be tested. Again, the research study cannot be concluded if a hypothesis cannot be tested. And lastly, a hypothesis should be reflective of the research problem. So the argument and interest of the study must be clearly expressed in the research hypothesis. It should also point out the variables in the study. Okay, so hypothesis again must be falsifiable, predictable, simple, based on existing body of knowledge, capable of being operationally defined, and reflective of the research problem. Next, how to formulate a good research question. Of course, you need to make sure that you state your research problem explicitly. Like the main arguments of the research study must be highlighted in the hypothesis. Then consider the if-then statement in writing hypothesis. Again, consider if-then statement in writing the hypothesis. This format explicitly an assumption and a probable result of the research problem. And lastly, define the variables to be studied. It is important to set the boundaries of the variables being studied, most specifically in an empirical study. Now, there are two types of research hypothesis: the HO, which is the so-called null hypothesis, and the HA or H1, we also called as alternative hypothesis. Usually, ang gina-present lang, no, again, usually in research study, si null lang ang ginabutang. Again, in a research study, ang usually nang ginalagay ng mga researcher na lang is si null, wala na si alternative. That's my observation, no? When I deal different research papers, even my master's degree at saka yung papers na aking mga advisee, ang ginalagay lang talaga namin is the null hypothesis. So when we say null hypothesis, no, it talks about no relationship or no difference between variables. And alternative, it talks about the relationship or the difference between variables. I mentioned this one already, no, during our our statistics class, no, that the alternative hypothesis is always the opposite of your null, the opposition of your null, or the alternative. That's a negation of the statement of your null hypothesis. Siya ang kabaliktaran, kumbaga. Example of null hypothesis we have: there is no relationship between customer satisfaction and quality of product. That's an example of null hypothesis. Sa alternative, what's the opposite of this statement? The opposite of this statement is merong relationship. Pag ang null is no relationship, pagdating naman ng alternative, there is a relationship between customer satisfaction and quality of product. Another example is ito. There is no difference between anxiety and stress level under therapy B. So the opposite of this one is your alternative, which is there is a difference between anxiety and stress level under therapy B. Now, what do you think are the differences between hypothesis in qualitative and quantitative research? To tell you honestly, wala may hypothesis ang quali. Okay? Qualitative research is more on exploratory research. Explore the phenomenon, explore about the experiences. Okay? Sa quanti meron. Again, walang hypothesis ang quali. Okay? Sa quanti meron. But again, not all type of research study in quantitative merong hypothesis. Again hindi lahat ng type of quantitative research merong hypothesis. Of course, balik-balik ko ano yung descriptive, pure descriptive study, walang hypothesis being tested. Again, pure descriptive study, walang hypothesis being tested. Now, there are two types of alternative hypothesis, but I've mentioned kanina na usually in a research problem, hindi talaga ginalagay ito alternative. Before tayo mag-proceed sa types of alternative, let me present to you my master's thesis. Sir, nga wala nimo gina-example in mong undergrad because my undergraduate research is quali. Class, I have two researches during my undergrad study, a social science research at saka yung sa mathematical research namin. So, lahat sila quali, Ang master's thesis lang dyan ako ang quanti. Even my paper, my academic paper in my PhD right now, hindi pa rin siya dissertation, but it's just a requirement for us to create a research. It's a quanti, by the way. So, yeah. Sige, let's have my master's thesis na about the hypothesis. Actually, ito yung SOP natin. Ito yung research question natin. Yan. So, of course, item 1, 2, and 3, they are descriptive research. Descriptive research siya. Si 4 o si 5, ito yung correlational research. Ito yung explanatory research. Ito siya. It talks about the relationship between two variables. And this one talks about also the but it's explanatory also. Now, ito si SOP4 at saka SOP5 or the research question number 4 and 5. Ito yung ginawa namin ang hypothesis because descriptive research, walang hypothesis being tested. Dili naman siya ma-test because again, descriptive research questions, it's a single, di ba? Single variable lang yung gina-describe niya. And there's nothing to compare or to relate. Isa naman sila kabuo. So we have here. So ito yung ginawa namin ng hypothesis. So null hypothesis lang yung gilagay ko. Again, null hypothesis lang yung gilagay ko kasi sabi ng advisor ko, dili na daw necessary ilagay yung alternative. It's null. So sabi dito, the question is there a significant relationship? So my null hypothesis is wala daw. There's no significant relationship. Okay? If you are going to analyze this one, after the data gathering, after analyzing the data using statistical tool, lalabas yung result kung na-may relationship or wala. And that's the time you are going to fail to reject or reject the hypothesis. Okay? After you ma-analyze, mag-solve na, that's the time your interpretation, that lalabas na yung kailangan ba i-reject si hypothesis, si null or hindi. Okay? Si SOP number 5 ko naman, it talks about if nag-mediate pa yung aming mediating variable, meron bang indirect effect. The null hypothesis is ito, does not. It's the, it talks about wala daw my mediating variable does not significantly mediate the relationship between my independent at saka dependent variable. So I have two null hypotheses here. In the paper naman din sa aking by the way, in this format, the null hypothesis is after the statement of the problem. The null hypothesis is after the statement of the problem. But in the other format, again, different format. There are three hypotheses here, no? There are association with test taker type, examination schedule, and let passing percentage and rating. So, sabi din dito, examination schedule and test taker type do not significantly predict let passing percentage and rating. And the major, meron siyang tatlong hypothesis. And after ito ng conceptual framework, again, that's the usual man talaga. That's the usual format talaga. That your research hypothesis should be after your conceptual framework. In the same format also, we have here, ito yung conceptual framework niya. And after this one, ito yung hypothesis. And meron siyang dalawang hypothesis, no? Like, there is no correlation among the indicators of the level of perception of ICT integration, according to his study. Also, there is no difference in the level of perception of ICT integration when the students are grouped according to their sex, year level, and subject type. Go back to the two types of alternative hypothesis. Diba nakita ninyo class na wala gi-indicate sa paper, no, ang alternative. But again, depende na yan sa format ng school kung ilagay ba yung alternative or hindi. But sa amin, the usual talaga is hindi na siya ginalagay. Null lang talaga. Kasi null man talaga yung mayroong main purpose kasi we are going to reject null or i-retain null or i-fail to reject. There are two types of alternative hypothesis. We have the directional hypothesis, which is the variables being examined differ in particular direction. Okay, it is important to keep in mind that the null hypothesis is one being tested. That's the reason why sinalang yung gilagay namin. Again, that's the reason why, no, na sinalang yung gilagay namin because sinalang yung, the null hypothesis is the one being tested, which can be either be rejected or retained. Actually, well, the word accepted in talking about null hypothesis is not acceptable. Okay, walang word na accepted. Kaya nga it's either fail to reject. No, I understand now that's fail to reject. It's double negative, but that is the appropriate term to be used when you are going to disagree or disprove about your null hypothesis. Dili accepted ang proper term. And kaya nga I was shocked with some of the literatures, no? Literatures, journals. I was shocked with some of the journals, no? Na-publish na po siya nga mga journals, but I do believe those journals are not na-publish to siya in a predatory journal. Ang ginamit nila is accepted, no? Even the book in SPC and MMW, it accepted ang inalagay. Kaya nga I was shocked na ko konti because they used the word accepted, but it was again hindi lagi ginagamit yung word accepted. It's fail to reject because the assumptions, no, the assumption about null hypothesis is kailangan din siya i-reject. Again, kailangan siya i-reject. Kaya nga the word accept is not, dili siya pwede gamitin for null hypothesis. So when a null hypothesis is rejected, this means that there is a difference or there is a relationship being investigated. And if you fail to reject the null hypothesis, that means the alternative hypothesis be rejected. Again kung gi-reject natin yung null hypothesis, that means there is a relationship, there is a difference. But if you fail to reject the null hypothesis, that means you are going to reject the alternative. Kailangan mo i-reject si alternative. Again, let's go back to the directional hypothesis. So these are the variables being examined differ in particular direction. Meanwhile, the non-directional is the variables being examined differ but no determined direction. So from the word itself, directional, it has direction. Non-directional, it walang specific, no, the direction, walang nakadetermine na direction. We have this example of non-directional at saka directional alternative hypothesis. So more millennials prefer remote and home-based work than those who belong to Generation X. In the non-directional, millennials and Generation X professionals prefer remote and home-based work differently. Also, another example, normal alkaline phosphates enzyme reacts best at optimum of pH 10 more than mutated alkaline phosphate does. In non-directional, normal and mutated alkaline phosphate enzymes react differently at optimum pH 10. So there is a difference no between how they are constructed. Kaya na difference no sa ilang pag-construct sa sentence of your directional at saka non-directional alternative hypothesis. So again, alternative hypothesis can be categorized as directional, suggesting specific direction. Meanwhile, non-directional, no specific direction mentioned. Now let's discuss the last part of this hypothesis testing. There are two types of error in hypothesis testing. Again, there are two types of error in hypothesis testing. Type 1 error, the null hypothesis was rejected when it's true. Gireject nimo ang gireject nimo ang null hypothesis when it's true. Ang type 2, the null hypothesis was not rejected when it's false. Nakalimot ko sa shortcut anya nami shortcut ani pero mas stop na siya dali. Wait lang ha. Okay, ang type 1 error, gi-reject nimo siya bisan tama siya. Again, gi-reject nimo siya bisag tama siya. The type 2 error is gi-accept nimo siya bisag mali siya. Again, gi-accept nimo bisag mali. That's the the Visayan translation of this one, Visayan explanation. Again, the type 1 error is gi-accept nimo, gi-reject nimo siya kahit alam mong tama siya. Ang type 2 error, gi-accept nimo siya kahit alam mong mali. Okay, that's the type 2 error. Again, ang type 1 error, gi-reject nimo siya kahit alam mong tama. Ang type 2, gi-accept kahit alam mong mali. That's the two types of error in hypothesis testing. Yeah. And let's have a practice test about this one. Formulate a null and alternative hypothesis for the following variables. So by looking at this, isa lang man siya, no? I can have this one. Let's have these variables, impulsivity and consumer behavior. Is there a significant relationship between impulsivity, is there a significant relationship between impulsivity and consumer behavior of Pende? So there is a significant relationship between impulsivity and consumer behavior, caffeine intake and alertness. You can have this one, no? Is there a significant, aside from the word difference, you can use the word effect. Na by effect ang caffeine intake sa alertness of the students towards the class. You can have that one, no? Like, there is no significant effect of caffeine intake of the students towards their alertness in the class. Also, this one, there is a significant relationship between the morality and attitude towards poverty. So again, you can create your own null at saka alternative. Basta make sure lang talaga ninyo that's si alternative siya yung opposite ni null. So once naka-create na kayo ng null, again, once naka-create na kayo ng null hypothesis, of course, easy na lang sa inyo gagawa ng alternative because alternative is just the opposite statement of your null hypothesis. Baliktad lang siya. Another example, why is it important to consideration the research design before formulating the hypothesis? Again, it's because your research design of your study, it guides you as what type of relationship, whether causal ba siya nga correlation or correlational is expected of the study. Kailangan mo malaman, especially kung pure descriptive, wala kang hypothesis, no? Bantay bitaw ha, namo yung research design kay descriptive lang niya, namo hypothesis, bantay na mo sa ako ang. Let's have this example also. Identify which among the following statements is directional or non-directional. So we all know that letter A is non-directional. Again, letter A is non-directional hypothesis because it did not explicitly state the direction of the relationship between variables. Again, letter A is not is the non-directional hypothesis because it did not explicitly state the direction of the relationship between variables. Letter B naman is a directional hypothesis because it mentioned that your independent variable has a direct relationship to the independent variable. Again, letter B is a directional hypothesis because it mentioned that your independent variable has a direct relationship to your dependent variable. And that would be all. No, this is a sample of a concept map about hypothesis. But again, let me remind you that okay lang walang alternative ang ilagay sa paper ninyo. Okay lang si null. Again, if your study is a correlational or comparative or experimental, of course, you have your conceptual framework at saka hypothesis. And then for your hypothesis, okay lang si null lang ang ilagay. Because si null lang man yung, in your research study, si null lang man yung kailangan i-test. Okay? Si null lang yung kailangan i-test. So that would be all. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope maka-answer mo sa tong quiz next week. And yes, God bless, and review this